All right.
All right.
Manole Madness.
Back in the saddle.
We're on our way to Wamanalo again.
Regulators, mount up.
Last class before the court date.
Okay.
So everybody's nervous down there.
The court date is on Friday, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so today's class, boom, then they get all this week for just practice on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Empowerment.
We have a busy week.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so Tuesday is the
We got
only day.
Tuesday. Tuesday, we get Tuesday. The biggest thing happening on Tuesday is baked spaghetti. I
So,
mean, aside from peeling out all kind of files and all that, the biggest thing is baked spaghetti. Mama's baked spaghetti.
so are we going to work with baked spaghetti and then also bake spaghetti for home, or are we not going to work again?
Well,
Because Tuesday is the only day I think that we could go to work. Because Wednesday, I think Nani has court Wednesday,
okay.
and Thursday we see your parole officer, and then Friday both of them have court.
Oh, Decisions. Okay. Well, let's see how the phone call goes with Brian. But I can get hooked up with the co-plane and they can focus on doing that.
The co-plane's only going in at section I cleaned, right?
Well, I think for now, it will focus on. I like the co-plane for my robot.
Yeah, because Brian was asking about that section that I cleared out. That's what he asked you. What you want to put over there, base course or co-plane? Co-plane.
Oh, okay.
So that's the section.
That's what he's talking about right there.
So that's why I said Solomon said he's busy all week moving his stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be this week, even if Solomon can go pick it up. They should just focus on bringing their stuff, right?
See, I get so much things running.
See? All these minions running around in his head. So, last night's vlog was at home.
Right.
And last night we started the first of the
peeling of the kakio. That's what I call it. I call it the peeling of the kakio. If you know kakio is a sore in Hawaiian. It's a sore that that gets scabbed, right? When the thing scab up, and 436 love you, baby. And my wife has the innate skills to just rip open the kakio.
You don't just say it like that. Like,
she can
rip it open. I gently peel it.
So she can find out how come the thing like that.
I find out what kind of medicine to put inside the hole.
Okay. Yeah. You rip them open and you help heal them. All right.
See? But
usually it's love, touch, kind of touch, kisses.
Yeah, like touch.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so if you look on our vlogs, all of his story is going to be numbered. So last night's one was 1.
7 to
so
8.
You can follow the journey from beginning to end.
Already back.
That's what I said, see? Yeah. And I suggest you follow it in numerical order because we're going to be taking it from beginning to end.
So are they following Manole Madness or?
No, so what his journey is going to be called is Kalai's Paradoxical Journey. So all of those titles I'm going to have. Last night's one was number 1. So it says number 1 on it. So just follow it that way because we're going to be traveling through his life. I don't know if we're going to do a specific day. Probably not because our schedule is so crazy. But we are going to take a journey through his life and educate people, and hopefully this helps somebody or many people, and hopefully it opens the eyes of people who don't understand, maybe, and this is a way where you can just watch at your own time, if you're interested. That way there's no pressure, and it's not like because you can't sit down for like 2 or 3 hours and hear your story and get everything. You know what I mean? I think it makes a difference to actually see the spots, what you were talking about, and
So
hear each story.
visit the past
Yeah,
by visiting.
by literally visiting.
Literally
the past,
visiting the past, so you can visualize.
Because when I sit down too and I hear people's story, I mean, I understand. You get the gist of it, but like, it's like an overview.
But
This way, it's like each story will be
Personal.
intimate. Yeah.
so I take you there with me.
Yeah.
Take you there with me so you can see the sights, the smells,
Yeah.
and the thing.
That's your cousin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. So please follow that, because I think it's extremely important. And
If you
extremely
really
meaningful.
want to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you really want to understand. But if you're not interested in understanding and all that,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Then at least you know the title.
Yeah.
Kalai's Paradoxical Journey.
And I think, what I think that when we start to look at life as a paradox, then a lot of our feelings will get put in check.
Nothing more than feelings.
Because a lot of times the hate that comes out of people, the misconceptions that comes from people, what I mean, the apathy that people display is simply because they don't understand.
Yeah.
They don't have a full understanding of how to look at things,
Right.
how to
People are
look at
afraid
things.
of things they don't understand.
Yeah. And I think that when we start to think in terms of paradoxes, then people will say, well, okay, yeah, that appears to be a bad thing,
Yeah.
but and I think that's where empathy will come into play, because you can say, yeah, okay, yeah, that right now on the surface that appears to be bad, right? But when we look deeper, then we're gonna, hey, the good thing that can come out of that, right?
Yeah.
Boom, ABC, whatever, fill in the blanks.
And people might have different ideas of how to prevent it from happening too. Like they might see, hey, this person did this because of this. So if we can, knock out the step that came before that, then maybe we can eliminate that.
Yeah. And then vice versa. You look at, oh, yeah, I can go, I can go buy my kid a e-bike. My 12-year-old, but she's big enough for have an e-bike.
Yeah.
I'll go buy the bike and just give them to him. Go for it. And then your child go out there, ride them, get hit by a car across the street, bang, boom, die.
And that's the thing, right? The parents might teach the kid all the safety that they can, and the kid is a good kid, responsible, but the driver on the road is not. Right.
So, there's no way to prepare for that.
Right. Which is what I feel about road rage.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you never know nowadays the person that, even though the person is wrong, they cut you off, or they, ran a red light or whatever. And then, you go up next to them and you're all upset or whatever in the heat of the moment. And now, many incidents?
I got a way to deal with that.
Oh, yeah?
What I've been dealing with, right? It's called cage your rage. The way I cage my rage is I make sure my windows is always up. So nobody can hear my frustration, except you, of course. You always catching it, but you hear it, but it's not directed towards you. But I cage my rage like that. That's one way I cope with it. I
So
cope.
like don't go drive up next to them, don't tailgate them and try to,
Right.
you know,
I did that once. I did
instigate.
one time, but this guy had when I my last parole situation when I was living on the Cooley homestead. At first, I just got out. I just moved to Nanakuli, and this guy, and then they was flipping me off.
Yeah.
They're flipping me off
That's
over here.
happened
They're
to
the
me
one.
before too.
Yeah, they're the one who was, dogging me, and then
Yeah.
they started flipping me off, and I think they understood the error of their ways because I was like, oh yeah, so I went for them. I was tailgating them. I was like, wow, I was on their ass, and they went all the way up in the homestead. Thought they could get away or whatever, but they don't know. I just moved to Nanakuli
Yeah.
homestead. Come to find out, that's family to my wife. My wife knew the whole family over there, right? And everybody related in Nanakuli homestead. And then we went to the house and I jumped out the truck, everything like, and then what? You know what I mean? What a wonderful boss was great, but I did that, and then that was the first time I understood that. Wow, that's how close I was to getting violated on my parole.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That or that close to dying, because if they had a gun,
Yeah.
and they didn't care, they would have just taken it
Right.
out and shot you.
Yeah. But then they realized, oh, that's on Kanaka that they did that too. And I think once the realization came, like, oh, and then my wife was telling, "Pa, that's my husband," and this and that, and then oh, sorry, and then this and then we apologize. Everybody hug, kiss, love, and come to find out, I know them. I know one of their family members. I work with them and all that. So then everything got squashed, but it never gonna be like that all the time.
Yeah.
But so from that incident, which is why I choose to vent inside in the privacy of my own vehicle. I'm not mad at them. I'm not gonna do nothing to them. I just, hey yo, so blah, 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 and then power right there. Next thing you know, I play my music and I'm moving on. You see?
Yeah.
But paradox is if a paradoxical view of the world, I think, will help society advance to a more understand
Yeah.
and compassionate way of dealing with whatever issues is out there. It's not all the answer, but it's a great answer. 432 Laima.
And so we've talked about your life many times,
Right.
right? I've heard the story many times about your memory with your dad and stuff like that, and your transition to Hawaii.
Right.
But by talking about it last night on the video, it's interesting how we've heard it many times, you've lived it, but last night we found certain things
Yeah.
that, like
Yeah,
the
yeah,
abandoned
yeah.
mom, and
Yeah.
not realizing that where her journey started,
Right.
So I think
Which
even
is
though
also
this-
helping the healing.
yeah, so even though you know the story, it's different. I think even the difference between you telling the story and you watching yourself tell the story,
Right.
because I think a lot of times humans are visual learners,
Yeah.
in a lot of different ways. So when you see yourself telling the story, then it's like you're seeing from outside,
Right.
and then you pick up on different things, right? So
Yeah.
that was really interesting, and so I wonder how the rest of your journey, because we've done it before with the video, I wonder what new things we're gonna learn this time around.
And all this goes to this whole exercise. The bottom line is about healing. To me, it's about healing. And when go see a psychiatrist. Well, that's really doesn't help for the healing, because it's a cold and impersonal intrusion
Yeah.
into your life. You don't know this person, you know what I mean, and this person may feign, and I use the word feign, may feign compassion or whatever, And I say that because they don't know you. That's their job. They're collecting money for this service. You know what I mean? And part of the collecting money for the service is you give the impression that you give a shit. And maybe some of them might actually give a shit.
I was gonna say we had like Dr. Hirsch, at
Right.
Milani. She was a great psychologist, but I understand what you're talking about because the thing is we would see her once a week.
Right.
So in that 1 hour, right, the 1
Yeah.
hour,
Yeah.
you would get support and you would get the clarity of what you need to think about.
What happens at 4 o'clock?
Right. So it's like you go home and you're supposed to practice that.
Right.
But unless you have a complete support system and everybody is on the same page,
Right.
when you go home, it doesn't work, right? Because there's no psychologist there to remind you, don't forget, we're going to do it this way, we're going to do it that way, don't forget. And then, during the week, everything goes crazy. And then you go back to the psychologist. And then the question is, well, why do you think it didn't work? Right?
Yeah. And that's the whole church concept, right?
Yeah.
Church, you go once a Sunday or Saturday or Friday. I'm going to go to church.
So that means constant support is what people need.
Yeah.
Every day, day and night.
Right.
7 days a week.
Right. And where you going to get that from? Nobody except from the people that you're around.
Yeah.
And none of us is psychologists.
Yeah.
We know more the education level to perform as psychologists. But what we do have with us every single minute and second of the day, we have a heart. We have our hearts. We have our minds. And we have the choice.
Which is where your videos are going to come in, I think. Really, really open the eyes of people, because this might help people as well understand that how important support is, in their own family. Nowadays, like a lot of the, stuff that's happening, not just the West Side, but everywhere, it comes down to the kids nowadays don't get the support they need. And a lot of times it's not because of the parents, it's because of the circumstances of life, But that's the important, that's the one I like about, like Hawaiian culture. It's, so if mom and dad cannot do it, Tutu is right there. If Tutu cannot do it, it's like, you always have an auntie or an
family
uncle.
unit.
Yeah. So they always take care of each other. And I love that. And I think that's what needs to come back,
I think there's nobody out there that's going to save us. There's no entity, power, or whatever out there that will save us but ourselves. We got to start looking at each other and realizing, I need you. I need you in my life. I need you. I need your support. I need your love. I need your understanding. And this is what I'm willing to give. I'm willing to give my love, my support, my understanding.
Right. It's not one-sided.
Yeah, and when we start working together to accomplish the task of rebuilding the family unit and then rebuilding a community unit, we eventually gonna get to that place where we're rebuilding the society unit. And we're all gonna start going back to that place where Hawaiians was before Western influence came here and jammed everything up for us. When Western influence came, we already had a workable system. Everybody knew their place. And for the most part, it was a peaceful time. It was a time of happiness. It was time where we would be able, everybody, because you was busy all the time. Right? And of course, we never have street lights, so once the sun goes down, pow already. You know what I mean?
Sounds like us.
Maybe get the campfire and we can sing songs at night or whatever. But pow work already, pow hana. You know what I mean? And then we're ready for the next day. and everybody had their own place and structure, and it was a structure that worked for everybody. Until Western Contact came and the first thing jam everybody up, you know, and having this foreign influence take control of us
So
and
I think
shocking our consciousness.
I want to do a thing, and I want to end every one of your segments. I don't know what I'm calling it, episodes, segments, whatever. But,
Yes, episodes maybe.
so I want to end every one with what kind of paradox did we learn from it?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because some people
What
might
is the
not,
paradox?
Yeah, some people
What
might
is
not
the paradox
understand.
that we?
Yeah, you know, and then that might help people too, because some people really don't understand. You tell them what a paradox is, and then they watch it, but then they don't realize, okay, what was the paradox in that, you know? So maybe we explain that.
Then we can help people to apply it in their own life.
Yeah. So at the end of every one, we'll talk about the paradox that happened.
So you gotta watch the time then. You gotta make the time. Say that. I think the longest thing will be like 20 minutes. So the last 5 minutes, 15 minutes of, because the human mind, they say, can only watch something for like 20 minutes before.
Okay, so you're talking about like your story, like the first one's gonna be at Camp 4, so only spend 20 minutes talking
15
about
minutes.
15 minutes.
15 minutes, because you gotta capture their attention for 20 minutes.
Right.
That's why if you notice movies and stuff like that, they get all the action, whatever, 20 minutes. Watch them, look the clock.
Some movies we've been watching lately, like the intro is 20 minutes. It's like we think the movie is going on, and then it's like, wait, how is just the intro?
Yeah, and then they cut to commercial.
Yeah.
Because that gets you out of your stupor and whatnot, and then it gets you hungry because you're like, wow, what's the next step in a story, and then they do that. So I think it's a psychological thing that. So there is a place for psychology and whatnot.
Yeah, there is.
All I'm trying to do is promote empowerment for the people.
Yeah. And you know what's going to be interesting is some of the people that are.
I'm really down with that, empowering people.
But some of the people that we're close to and already kind of know your story, I bet they're going to learn a lot too. A lot more that they didn't know, you know?
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
Maybe all my homies that I've been locked up with going to understand. Oh, that's why the man was a fucking asshole. Now I see why he was a fucking asshole.
Now I get it.
42 lady man. You realize that I'm smashing all the numbers. I won on the 80 this morning. I'm finishing a coffee.
You didn't finish your coffee. Well,
I'm winning everything.
I actually finished my breakfast before you.
I'm winning the whole world.
You're not winning no. But you got your prize,
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you win again, then you're gonna get that prize again. You realize?
Again and again.
Again and again.
Again and again.
You're gonna scream like a kid.
Yeah.
So it looked like it was raining over there.
That'd be great because you can wash my windshield.
Yeah.
I gotta go fix my windshield. I don't know. Maybe gotta see. Maybe
You gotta unclog.
Unclog. Yeah.
You gotta try that.
So sad. I get the ability. A nice truck. I can't even wash. I gotta go throw water on my windshield.
You gotta have me pour water and watch it splash all over me, and then laugh at me.
Because I like being wet.
And then I got and then I got short arms, so it's like no matter how,
Only pocket people get short arms.
I didn't say I have pocket arms. I said, do you hear me? You need Q-tips. I said I have short arms because I'm a short girl.
Pocket peoples.
No.
Fortune still love you. Right there, right in front of you. It pulled right in front of you.
Whatever. I have short arms.
423 babe.
So to get
Yeah.
all the way on your side when I'm splashing water, I don't think I've ever reached all the way on your side. It's only gotten like halfway.
Hey, remember when we go put the sticker Aloha Matters
Yeah.
and tell us get up there?
I was on the roof. I was on the roof. It's a good thing I can go on the roof.
Yeah.
And I was putting the sticker on upside down, right?
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh my gosh, I hope I don't mess this up. But it was actually really nice.
That was cool.
Yeah, I like that. We need to do that again. Do an Aloha Matters and put it on.
Aloha Matters. That's our handle.
Yeah.
Aloha Matters.
We made that because at the time everything was
Yeah.
police lives
Yeah.
matter, Black Lives Matter, what
Yeah.
I don't know, all this stuff, and all of those do matter,
Yeah. Well,
but-
ultimately, Aloha Matters.
yeah. And if you have Aloha, all of those
Right.
don't become an issue.
Right.
So we did hashtag Aloha Matters, and we were selling shirts, we were
Yeah.
selling
Mugs.
mugs, we were selling all kinds of stuff that said Aloha Matters. See,
We fall for the not the patent but
Trademark.
trademark. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's our handle. Aloha hashtag Aloha
I
Matters.
think we still have shirts too. Like
Yeah.
we were selling them when we were selling our food, and then I think when we got into the
Man,
accident.
we get the Aina hookup, and then we get like containers come and put them together to build our shop. Right.
And you know what? That would be kind of cool because that would give the kids employment.
Yeah.
Something that they can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of, because everybody has their, what do you call it? Like their strong points and their gifts.
Yeah.
Like I can't do what you do. With the legal work.
Yeah. No, we catching on though.
I like learning.
And with technology at your fingertips, it's a lot more easier and quicker to learn. Right.
There we go.
All right. Hey, good morning, brother.
Morning, Mom.
I'm sorry for bothering you this morning.
Oh, what do you got?
Yeah, the kind do you have coplane that the kind I know your trucks is busy and stuff, but I'm not Solomon if he get trucks for pickup coplane. He said he does. Is it okay if he can come pick up some coplane?
I just need to know when so I can schedule and make sure somebody will help.
Okay. All right. Shoot then. Then who is the contact person you would like Solomon to be in touch with to arrange all that?
Me?
You, okay. I'll go give him your number then.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Brian.
You don't need.
I'm not, I don't know how to look at that, but I know that where they're setting up the place for the machines for do the work on the Aina, I know they're probably gonna need over there, but my wife said that, was it, baby? What did you say?
Yeah, you're talking about the place that I can clear out, right? Where we're gonna put the hale.
Yeah.
That's what you was asking him the last time. If you wanted base course or full plane. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Solomon gonna be busy this week. He said he's moving all his equipment because he gotta get out of his place by the end of the month. So this week he gonna be moving his equipment up anyway. So probably would be like sometime next week.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
that's
just
for
let
that
me know.
spot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I need something.
Okay, hey, right on, and whatever Camparato, I because I don't know how to look at it and say, oh, I need this much, because I don't know.
Yeah. Not a problem.
I'm kind of stupid on that.
And let me know if you guys come in to do stuff because we're feeding everybody. And,
Yeah, this week.
My husband has the whole week's food schedule because he like me.
Okay.
He like be fed. He like eat and get
Yeah, we're
fat.
gonna be. Well, we get the whole food schedule this week because we like feed everybody that we working with, yeah. And that's what we're dedicating this week for. We're going to feed everybody.
I
So
know this week we're going to be focusing this on last week's stuff on the wall yard.
Yeah.
okay,
I know Taylor won't be able to make it if anything. If I get extra truck, drivers know nothing. Maybe I'll send him to away with a couple of old school green. I'll just grab up any my schedule.
yeah. I that's why I went and asked Solomon if he get the ability to go pick them up. That way, you don't need interfere with your workers doing what they got. Because I know what you're doing is important. You know what I mean? You got to take care of that. So I want to be respectful of that.
Okay, not a problem.
Okay. All right, Bob. Thank you, brother Brian.
Okay.
All right, brother. Thank you. Aloha.
Bye.
Bye bye. You see, this is what I mean about Hawaiians working with Hawaiians, and you know, Western society, once they get a hold of Hawaiian words or phrases like that, they tend to put one negative connotation to stuff. So I like talk about this word ho'omale male. Ho'omale male. See, Hawaiians, we all about respect and love, you know what I mean, for ourselves, for others, you know what I mean. Ho'omale male is not one negative thing. You know, I hear people say, oh, ho'omale male, yeah, you gotta kiss ass. That's stupid. You gotta be ignorant to think that. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you think ho'omale male means kiss ass, then something wrong with you. Because ho'omale male is a practice that we have as Kanaka for the next person. You want to be respectful, you want to be kind, you want to give deference to the person. You're not demanding nothing, you're not forcing nothing. You know what I mean? And that's where the whole thing comes about. It can, no can, no can. Right? We say that because we're countering the negative connotation to ho'omale male. You know, if we could just be ourselves and we know it's not a thing that you say. I just practicing ho'omale male. No, it's not that. We don't say that. We just be that. We just do like that. And so when you want to know what is that thing that you're talking about, it's talking about the practice of ho'omale male. It's a very respectful and honorable way to talk. So you see, when I talking to the brother, you know, I talk with kindness and with a sense of reveal and love for that person, because that person is helping us. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna be the kind, hey bro, what? You gonna go and grab this stuff or what? No, I'm not gonna be like that. I'm gonna talk respectful to him because I respect him. And I respect his family, you know, and his business and all that, his time and all that. And while I'm requesting for something to happen, I'm also cognizant of the fact that he has a full life that's going on. This company works 7 days a week, bro. And they bend over backwards to help other companies succeed in their business. You know, people talk shit about them like, oh, this guy's this, that, the other, whatever. Yeah, whatever. But when you need the help, you can call these guys because you know these guys going to be there to do the work. You know, and a lot of times they just barato their service. You know what I mean? So this is a golden opportunity for people to understand ho'omale male is a beautiful thing. This is how we approach stuff, you know, and we work with each other. So that's what I want to share about that right there. Yeah. That thing, yeah. Ho'omale male. Practice ho'omale male. It's not Western kind, but yeah, we're going to demand something to happen. We don't do that. Yeah, we be respectful to people because What if the brother no can? If the brother no can, then I gotta accept that. You know?
Or
So-
no can right now.
Oh, no can right now.
You know?
Yeah, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So we're entering the beautiful windward side.
Yeah, so and I have no rain. So put it. We went up the 8th Street, come over the 8th Street, and with no rain so far.
Your friend did that.
Guy Huggy,
Yeah.
your cousin.
Your friend. It's your friend. See? He
Okay,
said, no rain for like.
here we go. Watch out. Boom.
It's a big dip.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long do you think class is gonna be today?
Well, I don't like rush it. I
Yeah.
wanna,
Today's the last class. That's why.
yeah, I wanna go at their pace and what they can handle. But I think that the lesson for today is about briefing the case and to work with them to simplify briefing the case.
I can already see it. Like, she's gonna be like, okay, I just want to know what I need to do when I go to court. I don't want to know. You know what I mean? I think she's gonna want to
Yeah.
like focus on the overall. Like, okay, if the judge
Right.
asks me this, you know,
But
stuff. That's
I
her
think she's gonna do
mindset.
just fine. I
Yeah.
think the most stressful thing is the anxiety,
Yeah,
the not knowing,
yeah. And I
and-
talked to her about that last week.
and and just maybe we do a meditative session or something, and breathe and just get back into place, just stay into place, stay focused into
Anxiety
that
can be a
place. Yeah.
really like it takes over everything. You know.
Maybe instead of me, doing education stuff with her, maybe,
Maybe you should ask her what she
Yeah.
knows about. I mean, like.
yeah,
She knows the case. It's been her case for,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah. So, we let her do her thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, empower her to stand there before everybody and do her thing.
Yeah.
Let her rehearse it.
Yeah.
Because I've been asking her, like when just rehearsing the mirror.
Yeah.
So we'll do that.
Yeah. I wish I could be in two places at once. Because
Where would you want to be from here?
Where the,
Where
no,
you want to be
because
from here?
no, I'm talking about like on their court date
Mm,
because we have to split up. Right?
yeah,
But I do want to be there for Nani.
yeah.
But
Nani's amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
she is. She'll do fine. You know,
Mhm.
I'm sure she'll do fine. But so does her sister have to be here in person, or they can still come in via Zoom?
As long as they're represented by counsel,
They can always come in
Yeah.
via Zoom.
until there's a subpoena or whatever, they can get away
It's
with
kind
it.
of junk because then they kind of can hide behind the
Yeah.
camera. You know, like Zoom
Yeah.
is kind of
But see, but that goes to the strength of what we do,
yeah,
right? But our people, we're not hiding.
yeah,
We up there, boom, we're fighting, right? We are seen, we are heard.
and that's one of the things that Yvonne always says is like we have to take the time to go to court every time, and we have to face the judge face to
Right.
face. She
They
should
can
have to
hide
do the
behind-
same, you know.
But and
Yeah.
so that's the benefit that we have. That's the paradox.
Yeah.
Again,
yeah.
going back to the paradox. Oh, they're represented by a big bad wolf lawyer. But the bottom line is that you're relying 100% on that guy. That guy gonna do his job the way he's supposed to do his job,
Yeah.
right? And what we're doing is we're exposing, the failure of the lawyer to do his job and catching him every time, bang, bang, bang. Every time we catch him, ooh, right? And so they gotta live with the result to that.
Yeah.
In the end, our people gonna prevail because God always makes a way. And what God is doing is God exposing his fraudulent conduct. That's why this hearing is most important. It cannot be taken lightly. But by the same token, you gotta bring it. It's all balls to the walls. You gotta bring it.
So our case.
Mhm.
So like how so like when Richard and them had their case, like the brother was the one that spoke, right, for them. So like our case, there's gonna be 5 of us, right, on
Mhm.
one side.
Mhm.
So you would be able to be the
I'm
one
gonna
that
be the
speaks
one
for
that gonna
everyone.
speak.
So
Yeah.
like we don't have to really.
No.
I mean, if the
Yeah.
judge asks us questions, then yeah.
Yeah.
But
And that's the thing too is that yes, uh, because the court is not gonna entertain 5 people
yeah,
talking
that's
about
what I'm
whatever,
thinking
right?
too. Like that was such a
But
waste.
by the same token, because this is a unique situation where the question of of uh, unauthorized practice of law is,
Yeah.
the court may say, "Well, I don't like hear from you. We know that you understand. We like hear if your wife know or
Yeah.
or the kind." So, and because get 2 separate parties, you and me on one side and them guys on the other
Yeah.
side, even though we're in the same suit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I've been covering that, right? You know your subject matter
Yeah.
already. I have no um uh qualms about you or worries that you go up there, you know what you're saying,
Yeah.
because you make it easy. You know already. Oh, I'm just gonna speak the truth and that's it.
Yeah.
Just tell them
But
the truth and it was
it's
good.
funny because I can see how the judge might get confused too. You know what I mean? Like, okay, what is this case about?
Mhm.
Because if she asked me a question,
Mhm.
my role is just one specific thing, right? And it's gonna take like all of 10 seconds to explain my role.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
And there's nothing else more to say. So
Yeah.
then it
You
would
know
be
why?
like,
Because and the beauty of it is he's asserting that apparently you the one is behind all these legal writings
Yeah.
and all this kind of stuff. Because you know why? See that he look at me as Bumpy Kanahele. You know what I mean? Like that was the first thing out of his mouth. He thought I was Bumpy Kanahele. And Bumpy is a hammer, right? He's a hammer. But Bumpy is not known to do litigation.
yeah, so he already like
Yeah, he
looked at you
perceived.
as like,
Yeah,
because
he
Bumpy
perceived.
he's like a known person and advocate,
big, rough,
Hawaiian,
humble
yeah.
guy. You know,
So
not
he looks at you and go, oh, that's the kind of guy,
right. Right. He fall into the trap of look at this big dummy over here thinking you talk
Yeah.
legal stuff. He don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
You know
So
what I mean?
he underestimated.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
I like to when people do that.
Yeah.
But
Because he
it's
gonna catch
funny 'cause
cracks.
it's gonna be like, it's gonna be my, I can see the judge asking me a question and then asking Yvonne a question and asking you is like, okay, wait, what are you bringing this case for? Because this case is, you're claiming one thing that is about the Manaoles.
Right.
That's 2 of the 5 that we have here, and the
Right.
other 3. What does that have to do with what the Manaoles are doing or not doing? You know what I mean?
Is that a ladybug?
Oh, I think so. Yeah, it is. Hi, Dion. See, ladybugs. Oh, there's the Bible thingy.
Do it.
Like, it's bumpy too.